Hello and welcome to this absolutely new course, Tourism 337 from NIS Senior Secondary Grade 12. I'll be your trainer, Dr. Dawood Waid, and hopefully we can make a wonderful journey with this beautiful subject, the subject that makes us travel around the world. What do you need to be a tourist in this world, to travel around the world? You need a passport, you need your visa, you need your tickets, and of course, you need NIOS, the tourism chapter. That's wonderful. Maybe a poor joke, but something to make you smile as we get started. And hopefully, we will teach you the entire book in a very simple, easy manner for you to be able to understand, take the subject ahead, and also improve and make this a scoring subject in NIOS. This is a subject one of my students had chosen, and I'll quickly give you an overview of the course. Tourism as a chapter, it's a long course, 22 chapters, but module 6 with everything is a optional chapter. So we essentially have got 5 chapters and 5 modules, and each chapter is basically divided into module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the optional module of number 6, which is 2 sections. We will quickly tackle module 1, basics of tourism today. Maybe it's the first session, so I will hopefully take up the first session, the first chapter, evolution of tourism. When I see the word tourism, what comes to your mind? For me, the most easy part is to make you remember. So just do a small mind map, write the word tourism. I'm not good at writing, so I'll write the word T. Why do people travel? Think about it. Why do your uncle travel to Dubai? Yeah, shopping. So the easy word will be exploring. You are going to Paris, you're going to Dubai, you're going to Singapore, you are going to explore. Well, shopping is another word for exploring, but that's what you do. Let's say your cousin went to UK, to do her master's degree. So why did she travel? Well, the another word is for studies. So people travel all the way just because they want to take up a new course, a new field. So people travel to explore, people travel to study. Let's say your uncle and auntie just came back from Hajj, or somebody went to Shirdi. Why did they go? Why did they make this? Well, the simple word will be they are pilgrims and people travel for pilgrimage. Let's say your friend wanted to start a new business and he went to China. Well, I give you the answer. People also travel for business. These are 4 main reasons that people travel: to explore. As a tourist, you see new places. You want to see the Kenyan safari, you go there. Then you travel to study. You travel as a pilgrim on pilgrimage. And then you also travel for business. There's one more category people travel for. Let's say somebody wanted to go to Canada and they went as an immigrant. And today refugees go to Greece and to Germany as immigrants. So immigration is another way. What about people who completely keep traveling all around? We'll talk about them in a little while. So this essentially is your main core lesson. If you know these 5 reasons why people travel, everything else about the whole chapter is very easy. So, remember these keywords. If I said pilgrimage, why did people do pilgrimage? What did they travel for? Think of a place like Patna, Lumbini, Sarnath, Gaya, I said Makkah, Medina. Why did people go there? Well, they are pilgrims and they went to pilgrimage. Earlier, in the olden time, most of the people traveled for religious education. So they went, for example, they would come to India and they knew in Lumbini, Gautama Buddha, right? King Siddharth, he became the visionary one. So people would come to seek his blessings, to learn from him. Buddhism grew like that. So these were travelers who came all the way from China. So this was one set of people who came. Another group of people who came to India were the Persians, today what we know as modern day Iran. People came for trade, people came for business, and then they settled down. A key word here, remember this word and name, Hyun Sang, a devoted Chinese Buddhist who came to India in the 7th century. Remember it? Because these are 2-word questions, very easy, very simple. You have to remember it. Also, now as people started traveling, what happened? Small inns started coming in. Like the first Oyo rooms. What is the full form of Oyo? Well, that's not a 2-mark question. Oyo is, a beautiful concept by Ritesh Agarwal, On Your Own, where the inns or the motels or the highway hotels are an example. Excuse me. All right, so I had too much of travel, I think, and we need to work on hotels and motels become a part of the travel, and this is what we do. So remember the Mughals. My writing is very bad, but at least it remembers you. Mughals built a lot of inns there. It became a source of entertainment and income. So people travel, and that's how the roads were come in. The national highways came in. People also traveled because they wanted to explore. These were early explorers. Vasco da Gama came to Calicut in Kerala because that was the spice route. He came to India. The Dutch came. These are the people of Netherlands. The French came to Pondicherry. Portuguese came to Goa. Britishers came all across India. First to Calcutta, Mumbai. These port cities became very popular. So now they came for colonialism. They came to take charge of the country. And this was one of the reasons people came. Columbus, Ibn Battuta, all these sailors are very popular in the history. Modern time, when the Britishers came, they laid the railways, and as the modern India believes now, we could have anyway done it, but they laid the railways for their own convenience. Today, India is the largest rail network in the world. IRCTC, right? If you want to book your tickets, that's the official government website. Indian Railways is one of the reasons people travel across, domestic travel. The first train was between Mumbai to Thane. Now, the Harbour Line travels in Mumbai, Thane, but earlier it was the first train in India, and people travel because the tagline of India is Incredible India. You visit different cities for business, pilgrimage, as a tourist, and you also go, like somebody goes from Bombay to Bangalore to study or Chennai to study, you are traveling all across India, and this is one way. Air travel have made it even better. Cheaper private airlines have made it more convenient for people to travel. Post-independence, traveling has got a huge boom, and today there are big corridors like Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai. There are ports, there are hotels, there are functions, there are events. People travel for IPL matches to Ahmedabad, the largest now cricketing stadium, and the World Cup final will be held. So this is what the entire history of travel is about. So quickly, in-text questions, I quickly go around. How did the education institution help in the growth of travel? Well, institutions like Nalanda, Takshila, Deoband, we'll talk about them. These were religious institutions, but people came to travel and then they saw the culture. Some of them stayed back, some of them promoted the culture. So this is one reason. What is the role of sea voyage? And you don't have to memorize the answers. You see, sea was the easiest route. From the Caspian Sea, you cross the Europe, you come to Arabian Sea, from Gulf to India, and India, you to the Indian Ocean, you go to China, the entire archipelagos of Indonesia, Malaysia. So the sea voyage was very easy. Explorers wanted to see the places. The conquerors came afterwards. You can name the explorers like Vasco da Gama, Christopher Columbus, Ibn Battuta, and that's the kind of people we are looking into. And this is a simple reason. What are the current factors? Remember the 5 factors I told you where people travel, and you can write about all the people traveling. They travel as tourists, so that is explore, study, pilgrimage, business, and immigrants also. Earlier, people were limited. They would only travel near the sea, the Indus Valley civilization, Egyptian civilization. River Nile is called the cradle of humanity, or gift of Nile is Egypt. So remember, people traveled when there was water. As modern tourism became better, as we have more facilities, more people were curious to know. These are the reasons people travel. Remember, I gave you all the 4 reasons. The 5th reason is nomad, but they don't stay in one place. They travel from one place to another, travel in tents and especially in areas where food is sparse, like deserts. So one word for India, we have in Rajasthan, they're nomads who don't settle in one place. They are not farm. So the reasons we said people travel, please make sure you don't have to memorize anything. It's very easy. It's very simple. The trade people, the industrial revolution became trade. And now, people want to go to Europe, to Australia, to better destinations in Canada. So that is why migration is happening. Absolutely simple reasons why people travel, isn't it? You have all the entire questions around here. How did trade initiate the growth of tourism? Well, people were curious. They came to India for spice and China for silk, and people started knowing the culture. The growth of these countries happened. Better transport system happened. Better, from horses to trains, from trains to airplanes. The travel industry, the tourism industry grew. Also, if you look at it, Incredible India is a tagline. Truly Asia is Malaysia's tagline. Why don't you find about some 4-5 countries with some amazing caption? In India, every state has its own tagline. For example, one of my favorite tagline is the sweetest spot in India, or something on those lines, is West Bengal. Of course, the chum-chums and rasgullas. If you're interested in this subject, look at it online, find 5 taglines, and you will find it's so interesting that people look at this entire concept. In 2 minutes, I'll explain 2 of the most important concepts, the Silk Route and the Spice Route. Well, you see, India is a land of spices. So if people want to come to India, they would have to travel across. So this is so you see the Caspian Sea comes in from European, the traders would come in. There's Iran out there. You are doing the Hindu Kush mountain. You face modern day Afghanistan and Pakistan. They come down to India through Punjab, and India is now, this is called the Silk Route. So spices like cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, turmeric, and they were used as commerce. Haldi is so popular, so people have come down as Silk Route. There's another route, so I'll quickly go and change my colors for you to know. The Turkmenistan, the top of the region, the Balkans, they will go to China, and this became to known as the Silk Route, right? So a lot of Chinese travelers in Europe and European travelers, it's the history of travelers that have come. Religious people were traveling for religious reason. You would find people go to Mecca and Medina, people go to Vatican, and this became a part of European age of discovery. That's all, my friends, about this chapter. Don't worry, it's a very, very basic chapter. How did silk and spice route? I just explained the two people we remember. At least I'll give you one name, Nalanda, one of the largest place of learning, university even today. Remember Hyun Sang we spoke about? So people came for religious education, and Nalanda being one of the key places where we speak about in today's modern day Bihar, in near Patna. This is the university, one of the largest and the best first residential university in the world. Think of Taxila. Taxila is again on the Grand Trunk Road. This is on the Silk Route. Again, you can talk about one line. There are so many things. Deoband is a religious seminary for the Muslims. People from all over the Middle East, the Gulf, across would come down. In Uttar Pradesh, it's still there. So these are small. Maulana Qasim Nanotwi is the founder of it. There's so many institutions like that have risen up, and people have traveled because of these reasons. For example, as I said, the Hajj, the Kumbh Mela in Allahabad, people would come all the way to see the place. You can name them. This is your chapter. You can ace it up. And that's all we have got in tourism. This is the basic first one. I hope you enjoy, and we will take up more questions as we go ahead. And this will continue as a series for all of you as we talk about tourism as a chapter for a senior secondary.